Melanin fam, it's your girl Shelby,
And I'm Erica.
and welcome to another episode of All Things Melanin TV. So today we're gonna keep it 100, we're gonna keep it real, and we're gonna talk about something that we all are dealing with and navigating, and that's talking about navigating the worst hood, adulthood. I feel like I don't know about you, friend, but growing up, I thought being an adult was lit, and being an adult can be lit. But I feel like there's so many extra things going into adulthood. Like there should have been a class. Like instead of us
Yes.
talking about pi squared, we should have been talking about how to balance a checkbook,
Yes.
loans, finances,
Taxes.
taxes, all of those things. Adulthood, how to be an adult. Because going from a teenager to a college adult to a real life adult that's responsible for their bills is a whole
Yes.
different thing.
Yes.
And I think that adulthood could be beautiful and there are so many different things in there, but I think that there are so many different layers to adulthood.
Yes.
And so with adulthood, I also think there are so many different facets. Like you are trying to maintain a career, you're trying to maintain family relationships, platonic relationships, you're trying to, build your finances, build your wealth, you're trying to stay healthy, you're trying to be a good friend, be a good daughter, be a good cousin, travel the world, be fine, work out, get 8 hours of sleep, drink all that water, and still be fine. Get your hair done, get your nails done. Okay, I'm going on a rant. But adulthood can be a lot and it can be overwhelming, friend. And so my thing is, my first question to you is is adulthood what you thought it would be like growing up, and what did you imagine?
No. And I will say shout out to my mama and my daddy because I had a great childhood. It was lit as a child. And I still wish I had my all expenses paid existence because well, shout out to my parents again because they still help me. And I'm a full adult. Like 40 is breathing down my back.
A full grown one.
And they still help me. They still got my back. And so I would definitely say no. It's nothing that I thought it would be. I actually don't even know what I thought it would be until I'm here. But I do feel like 20s is definitely different than 30s.
Listen.
And I'm sure 40s is going to be different than 30s.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's definitely a challenge in my growth. And I think that's not a bad thing because we should be growing. I'm definitely not the same girl I was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 2 years ago. And that's important too. So adulthood, it came around on your girl quick. I was like, oh wait, what's bills? Taxes? Wait, they taking my money? Social Security? Retirement? What? So what about you?
So I don't know what I thought adulthood was going to be, but I was actually really excited about adulthood for some reason. And I remember my parents, like Erica, I had an amazing childhood. Shout out to my parents because they really go and the greatest of all time and just the best. I think more so I was excited about adulthood for freedom. But I miss being a child. All expenses paid, being on my mom's insurance, being on my parents' insurance, them just having to worry and be the adult. Like I was talking to my mom, I was like, I need an adult. She was like, you are an adult. I was like, I need a more adult than me for this. So I need you to tell me. Right. And so I think for me, I was just really, and people used to tell me, like my cousins and my family used to be like, Shelby, and I don't feel like I was one of those people that grew up too fast at all. I feel like I enjoyed childhood, I enjoyed teenagehood, I enjoyed, college life and all those things. I just think that the transition from my parents' house to college to the real world was really difficult. I don't think that I don't know how you can prepare someone for that. They can tell you, they can prep you, can do all those things. But I think a lot of people experience the challenges of adulthood. I think I just thought about adulthood as freedom and being able to do what I wanted to do and all the things. But the one thing that you need in adulthood is you need a lot of money, but you need to be financially stable and you need to do all these things. And I think that I underestimated adulthood, and I just don't think that I was thinking about the right things. So I think that I had to, have really interesting and just good conversations with my parents, particularly my mom. And then I think having a community of friends has really helped me navigate adulthood. But it was not what I thought it was going to be. But it actually hasn't been that bad. And I think with so many things going on it's kind of like we said, like, you know, you have career, you have relationships, you have family, you have health, you have finances. And the thing about it is, if like one is in a bad situation or a bad stop and a bad spot, the rest of the world doesn't stop. And I think the non-stopness of adulthood can be overwhelming and challenging. And one thing that I've realized that's really important for me is like setting and sticking to a routine, particularly during the work week. Because I feel like we have this, like people always talking about find balance, find balance. I personally don't think that balance exists. And I personally don't think that it exists because there's always so much going on from day to day. So although I don't believe in balance, I do believe in routines. And so routines, I think, have really helped me to navigate adulthood in a way that is comfortable for me and that makes me feel more confident in who I am and what I can do and what I can control. And so that's how I would say I kind of obtained balance and have navigated adulthood from things such as simple as like planning out my week from what I'm gonna wear every day to when am I gonna work out? When am I gonna pray? When am I gonna meditate? When am I gonna journal? When am I gonna hang out with my friends? When am I going to pay my bills? Obviously with my check its. When am I going to balance my checkbook? When am I going to, you know, do all of these things? I think honestly just knowing what your responsibilities are and knowing what you need to get done and creating a routine and establishing it has really helped me. Like, but for you, friend, like, do you feel like you've achieved balance? Do you like how have you been able to navigate and continue to navigate adulthood?
I definitely don't think I've achieved balance, whatever that is, because I feel like there's always something going on and something to take care of, something to pay for, something to fix, something to get looked at, something to deal with as an adulthood. And right now, I just feel like I'm navigating like what's next, like what am I doing? Like what am I trying to get to? Like between trying to balance a career, trying to balance a business, trying to balance a brand, trying to balance my friendships, old friendships, new friendships, trying to balance, do I want to date again? Like, do I want where my husband at? Trying to trying to balance saving money, where do I spend money, where do I invest money? Like
the list goes on.
Yes. And so it's kind of like for me, I think I'm just navigating where do I want to be next in my adulthood life, in this point of my life. Where do I want to be next, and how do I prepare to be that? Because I feel like younger, they always tell you, society always tell you, prepare for this, put this money away for retirement, put this money away for this and that and this. But you can never be too sure, because sometimes I personally know people have to dip in their retirement before they actually of retirement age, because life be life,
and it do.
And so that's another thing. It's so unpredictable. You literally have to roll with the punches. That's why I don't think there's anything such there's nothing that balance doesn't exist to me. And so I feel like what you said about the routine is perfect, because I feel like if I don't have a routine, I can't function correctly. And some days I wish I could press pause on the world. Like sometimes I can't even get on social media. I'm like, it's too much going on in the world. I can't do it. I was like, I've already had a long day. Gotta get home, gotta get groceries, gotta do this, gotta do that. And it's always something to do. So I think for me, just having that routine, but then also just finding a way to have your own like time to yourself, if that makes sense. Because I feel like, especially women, we're always giving our time to other things and other people first. And that could take away a lot of your just stamina in adulthood, period. So what about you?
I think for me, friend, what was the question?
How do you, or I think you already answered it. The balance question.
I guess the other thing that I would like to add or ask, I think that another thing about adulthood, that I feel like I'm starting to have conversations with like among our friend group and just in general is that like I don't think we realize the impact that like our experiences have on us, that friends, family, and just different things and how it affects you. I think like when I think about when I first came into adulthood in my early 20s, like that version of me does not exist. I think that person was way more optimistic, and that person was really like, when I say YOLO, your girl was YOLO and out here charging and not even thinking about it. And I think as someone who is, you know, in their 30s or early 30s and entering that, I think back to situations and things that have shaped my life. And I think one of the biggest things that has shaped my adulthood uh, for me, and I think has allowed me to first calm down, also just be more humble, but also just to just be able to roll with the punches,
Yeah.
to be more in tune with my prayer life, to be a better friend,
Yes.
to be a better daughter, to be a better coworker, and to just be a better human being. As horrible as it was 2020. Because I think for me that it was the first time that I really saw shit hit the fan and it affects me. It affects my family, it affects my friends, and it affects the world. And I think that really put a lot of things in perspective for me as an adult. And I think for me, my perspective is like obviously I be in my Bible, but I be outside now that it's a little bit more safe. But I think I have the perspective that like I cannot take any of this with me.
Right.
And things can change in a millisecond.
Mhm.
So who am I? What do I want to be remembered for? What type of person do I want to be? And like, what can, and like, just doing things that bring me joy and that I don't want to do,
Yeah.
like, that I want to do. Like, I'm the type of person now, I feel like in adulthood, that I really show up and try to be the best version of myself. I do what I can do that's good. And I let a lot of stuff roll off the tongue or roll off the shoulder. And so I feel like it's so interesting to see how I've navigated adulthood from entrance
Yeah.
to maybe like, I feel like we at the intermediate level now. And I think that one thing that I just wanted to point out is like, as you navigate adulthood, you're going to evolve and you're going to change. And there are going to be peaks and valleys. And I think that's normal. I think that you have to develop a routine or just like peace within yourself to be able to deal with a lot of things that may pop up. I think the hardest thing for me about adulthood is that when shit hits the fan, life keeps going.
Yes.
So that's with grief. That's with
Yes.
losing a loved one. That's with changing jobs. That's with losing friendships. That's with moving. That's with all these things. And I think like the nonstopness of it and the connectedness of it is a lot and it's overwhelming. And so I want to tell you that in adulthood, give yourself grace, be kind, and do what's best for you.
Yes, I love that. And so, one more thing. So, what is something about adulthood or your life now that you really love and are enjoying?
First of all, I think I really love the person that I've grown into be at this point in my life. She's happy, she's healthy, and she's blessed. Okay?
Period.
Period. But I think one thing that I'm enjoying about adulthood, in addition to, having a different relationship with my parents, and that like they the homies. They my best friends and just developing them and stuff like and developing my relationship with them and just being able to do things for them and to give them experiences that they gave me for the first time. But I think one thing that I'm enjoying is I really love the sisterhood and the village of friendship that we have built. I really enjoy having a community of sisters that loves me, that prays for me, that pours into me, but will also turn up with me, will pull up on me, and whatever the case may be. And just being able to create and have experiences together, and then be able to finance those experiences has been one of the most beautiful things. And I think having that sisterhood has allowed me to navigate adulthood in a more bearable way when shit hits the fan, no matter what season I'm in. What about you?
That's what I was gonna say. Our friendships with an S on it, because I think it's important for who are you surrounding yourself with during your adulthood navigation. Like, because you're gonna grow, you're gonna go through things. Like Shelby said, we can turn up or we could go to church and pray. Like,
it's balance.
You gotta be able to pray with your friends, because it is real out here. And when real life hits you, who is going to be there when you sad, sleeping in your bed, not just somewhere turning up on somebody's couch? Like, you have to make sure the type of community you have around you, that makes a difference in your adulthood. And it is harder to make friends in your adulthood, but if you have at least one that got your back that you can rely on, it makes the world a difference. So I was going to say the same thing. Is I'm really enjoying also who I am now. I feel like like I said earlier, I'm a different person than I was just a couple of years ago. I've grown, I've improved, I've become more sure of myself, more confident within myself, and have grown in my relationship with God. So I'm just really at peace with myself. And that's really important. Be at peace with yourself. So that's what I would say. So, okay. Before we close out, I'm giving y'all an affirmation. What do you think we should do? I want you to leave it in the comments. Put, let's see.
Well, maybe instead of the affirmation this week, since we were talking about navigating adulthood, like put like either what your favorite thing about adulthood is, like what are you enjoying in adulthood, or like write something or tell us like what's one thing that surprised you about adulthood.
Everything.
No, for real. But tell us like what surprised you or like something that you're enjoying.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss when an episode drops. And we thank you so much for watching All Things Melanin TV. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.